Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Four of Discs. And this has everything to do with power. And this is actually one of my favorite cards, to be honest with you. Because it reminds me of just like staying home, saving money, getting everything straight in life. Everything's getting squared away. And just, kind of recharging. Okay, so let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. It's free to subscribe. Okay. So immediately I'm picking up on like big dad energy, like father energy here. We have a person standing here, the head, body, legs, and they're holding a child, and you can see the child up here. And even before I started this reading, I was like, for some reason I feel like this is gonna be kind of a dad, there's like a dad energy, right? And then I saw that, I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely dad. We also have a little star right here, okay? We have a boat right here, and I see that we have a little island with a tree, and it looks like the wind is kind of blowing the tree there. And let's see. Okay. Yeah. So then I'm seeing kind of, it almost reminds me of like something being just too high to reach, which, by the way, I'm familiar with. I'm like just a smidge over 5 feet tall. So welcome to my daily life. But I do look at this and I'm thinking, so it does feel like there has always been a real desire to relate to your father figure, if that's your biological father or stepdad or grandparents or brother or whoever it was, right? Whoever was kind of that father figure in your life, maybe even mom, right? That could have been mom as well. But the sense of just a desire that I wish that I could speak to my father openly. I wish that we could connect. I wish that we had this kind of, easy and deep and loving and nurturing kind of relationship where, we were like best buddies. And I get the impression that, maybe growing up, you looked around and you saw that there were other families, other kids that had dad in the picture, or a father that didn't have to work as much, or was more emotionally available, would go out and throw the ball around, or take you to the park or whatever it was. And you maybe looked at that and thought, I wish I had that. I don't really feel that I have that relationship with my father figure. And I feel like this has created some things within yourself where, I think at times you felt like you were kind of out at sea by yourself. I think in some ways it intensified your individuality and your independence, right? Which you're a Cancer, so you're pretty good at being self-motivated and I don't think super prone to loneliness. I think that you like to be alone a lot of the times. Now, do you get lonely? Yeah, of course, everybody does. But I think that you're confident in your solitary nature. Okay. And so anyways, I do feel like, in your life, because of this relationship, you yourself, if you are a parent or you're a caretaker, or you have a, like an animal companion, or you're maybe a plant parent, you have lots of plants or whatever it is that you take care of, you have shown up like 150%, right? You are all the way invested, and you do all the things that you wish that you had. And, and I think that even now, and it could be that you're 60 years old, and you still have those pangs of sadness about this relationship that could have been so much more. And, of course, when we have parents who are not around, or they're not around enough, or they, for one reason or another, they have shortcomings that kind of really affect us as we grow up, there can be a sense of not feeling like enough, right? And so I think this is something that you've really had to work on. But I do think that at times it can make you feel quite alienated, quite othered, kind of like on your own island. And those storms, sometimes they really do come through, right? You can imagine being on a island late at night, and a big storm rolls through, and the wind is whipping, and the rain, and lacking very much protection from that. And I think at times you can feel that way emotionally, and but at the same time, I think that you've really worked so hard to process through a lot of this. And I think that this has made you a really amazing partner and a really amazing parent or caregiver. I think that you are so good to people that it just, I think that you are kind of even known for being somebody who is very kind and of service. You show up, right? And you do the thing, and your word is your bond. This is what keeps coming into my mind. Your word is your bond. You say what you mean, and you mean what you say. You do the things that you say you're going to do. And I think that, to most people, you think, oh, okay, obviously we should all strive for that. But for you, this is a source of pride, okay? And I think that is deserved. I mean, absolutely, because there are so many people in this life, for one reason or another, that they don't. They are not able to fulfill the things that they say, or their intents. They can't see things through. And, that's no judgment on my part. I've plenty of times that I have fallen short. But when you meet somebody who really kind of is true to their word, and they do the things, and you're kind of like, whoa, this person's pretty dang serious about things, right? It's kind of refreshing. And I think that you have that effect on people. I think people really are like, drawn to your your work ethic, but also, and that is part of it, but it really is that I think that you care about how people feel, and you care about how you make people feel, right? And if you say you're going to be there, and you say that you're going to do something, you do it, right? And at the same time, this can be heartbreaking, you know. And I look at that person with the shelf that seems a little too high, and there's this sense of, meeting people in your life, caring about them greatly, and there's this, they don't show up for you in the same way you show up for them. They break your heart a little bit. And I think that this can be very much linked back to this original relationship, right? A lot of times that's how it works. And for one reason or another, I try to think of this as like the ordeals of our life. We often, without knowing, look for qualities in our friends, our partners, and the people who kind of populate our life. We bring them into our lives, and they have aspects, both positive and negative, of those initial archetypal role models that we have, like our parents. And sometimes we can't get out of that cycle. And there are aspects of their personality, their behavior, the way that they live, or whatever it is, that can continue to wound us from those original wounds that we carry. Because it's so alike. It makes you feel the same way, right, as you did when you were young and you were being let down, your heart was being broken, and you were learning about what heartbreak is in life. And so, I think this is another aspect of it. You have worked diligently to kind of understand these things. Look for the patterns in the people that you are engaging with, and figuring out, like, is this something that I can live with? Or do I need to be more discerning? Do I also need to, kind of realign my intentions as to what kinds of people I am going out and meeting and attracting? Okay. So I think as we heal as beings, as we evolve as beings, we start to attract different kinds of people. Okay. Because, somebody who is very much related to older aspects of ourselves, older versions of ourselves, maybe is not going to be, so relatable to who you have become. And never is this more apparent than when you go through a little nostalgic, blip in your life, and you go looking for old people from, back in the day. And then you think, like, maybe they're still a wonderful person, but I don't relate to them at all. Like, I don't even recognize that life that where we would have even, crossed paths. And then you become more aware of just how much things have changed for you. And so I look here, and we have this beautiful image. And again, I think this just reiterates to me of a person sitting, and they're holding a child. But also I see an animal, maybe a bird over here. And I feel like it really, there's just this continued desire to connect in these really deep and loving ways. I don't think this is at conflict with like a solitary nature, because I think for you it is often quality over quantity. I don't think you care less if you have, half a friend, or, you know, if you have like 5, 10 friends, I think you would prefer to have a couple of good friends who, you know, you really understand and can communicate with, and you enjoy them, and you've been through things, and you can trust in them, and they in you, right? Rather than having your life filled with a bunch of people who, you know, you care for and you like well enough, but there's a lot of, you know, kind of disconnect there. So I feel like, you know, and I'm not one to romanticize suffering. I really am not. But I do think that there are some people who go through some really difficult things. I mean, are given circumstances that seem pretty unfair. And then, you know, they kind of make a beautiful life out of it. They decide, right? I'm going to change these cycles of missteps. I'm going to change the cycles of trauma and abuse and kind of, you know, learned sickness or you know, whatever it is. And ultimately, I mean, that is some of the most important work there is in life. I really do believe. So, let's see. We have a 24, 2, 4, and then we have 1, 2, 4. Actually, it looks like 1, 2, 4, 2. So we have 24 and then 1, 2, 4, 2. That's quite a number there. Okay, so yes, we also have a 7 up there. Okay. And then we have a rabbit. We have this cute little bunny, okay? Yes, and right in time for spring. By the way, happy spring, or fall, I should say. I forget. I know. I try to be, every time, I try to remind myself. We also have a lot of people here who are from the southern hemisphere, and I can't forget that. So happy autumn, happy fall, and hopefully a reprieve from the hot. So, we have that rabbit, and it is the sign of fertility, of abundance, you know, of good, I would say good health, at least in the sense that you're making the best of whatever it is that you have going on, right? And I always like to say, like, when I see a symbol that has to do with some good health happening, it is not that there's any big cure. I never see stuff like that. Even if I did, I wouldn't talk about it. But when I do see the health things, to me, what it says is, even if you have like a chronic illness, chronic pain, you have something going on, that kind of alters the way that you physically or emotionally, mentally experience things, and that can be difficult. This is a period of time where there's some ease. Okay, so the flare-ups maybe are not happening as much. Things are kind of pretty stable and manageable. Okay, but yes, I also think with that bunny, and it looks like it's sitting. It kind of looks like it's hanging out. So I feel like there's a sense of of great inspiration, a lot of creativity, and the excitement to get to that, right? But I also think that you're being, and I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. Just got over the flu, so I'm still, excuse me, my throat is not the best, and I feel like I'm a little clearer today, but still kind of dealing with all that stuff. So thank you. I appreciate you being patient with me. But I think that you're also resting up. And that's really that Four of Discs energy. You're getting all of those elements aligned. I can see you getting all of your, the things that you need to do this project together. It's kind of like if you're going to start writing or journaling, this is like your big thing. I'm going to get back into journaling. And so you go out there and you get your journal, you pick a new journal and you go and buy some fancy new pen, or if you're like me, I like the cheap ones. I like the Bic ones, the roller ones. Or you are, whatever things you're gonna get, little stickers and things to decorate it. And you're contemplating, what is my next move gonna be? But in this case, usually we get all that stuff done and then we kind of don't do the thing. I mean, raise your hand if you're with me, because I definitely can be like that. I'm hunter-gatherer, gathering, and then I get there and I'm like, okay, now I need a nap. I got it all home and now I forget about it a little bit. But I do, with that bunny energy, I think, yeah, you have that motivation, you have that willpower, and you are going to do the thing. So I'm excited to see, I would love to hear about in the comments, if there is any, what are you doing? What is your next thing that you're working on? What are you excited about making or trying? Is there a new hobby? This is going to be a fun time for sure. Now we also have J and J. So it looks like JJ, if that means anything to you. Okay, let's see. I'm just checking out to see if we have anything. Oh yeah, this guy up here. I totally didn't talk about him. Okay, so we have a person up here, and I feel like there's like this like a horse, like a wild horse galloping, just hair flying. And I feel like there's this sense of feeling your feelings, like the things we were talking about at the beginning, and kind of going through those emotions, going through the things that you need that are just kind of welling up inside of you, right? Like the thing when your throat, you get that lump in your throat. And I don't know if you cry a lot or ever at all, but I cry often. I don't always do that. I don't always get to the point where I'm like really, I have the lump in my throat, but at least like every couple weeks do I get that emotional. Usually I cry maybe every day, at least once, or every other day. But I do feel like it's like this thing has been building up, and you are allowing yourself to kind of swim through those hard emotions, right? But as you allow yourself, and you maybe are crying or using this energy as a creative fuel, or you're putting it into your whatever you like to do. Maybe you do some intentional movement, or you play sport or video games or whatever it is. You're putting this stuff into it and expelling some of that pain, right? Letting it go, and releasing the pressure valve a bit, and then it's like that renewed feeling where it's just, I've had a good cry, I had a nap, I had a little snack, and now I feel like a wild beast. I just could run through the valleys and, you know, up and down the hills, and, you know, that bit of freedom, because you've gotten rid of some of that stuff that's just been sitting in your chest for a while. And yes, I do. I feel like there is just a beautiful kind of I was gonna say glow, but it's not the glow. It's so much as the feeling like it's this solid feeling, right? They're like a just a cleaned out vessel, but also very like solid and together. And the energy is just there. It's just on point. And so yeah, I think that, you know, sometimes you maybe avoid doing the emoting thing, but when you let yourself, it is kind of like the sweetest little treat you could get or give yourself, right? And then you're just, I feel like, feeling like $1,000,000 once it all is said and done, right? And ready to conquer the next dealio here. So, yeah, let's take a look over here. We have more, all these J's tonight. There's a J, there's a J, and we have a 2. We have an 81, 81. We have a heart. Now we had a C in here, and where did it go? Because I was looking at it. Yeah, there it is, C. So we have a C and a C, the letter C. And I almost wonder, maybe it's Cancer, I don't know. But I almost wonder if it's somebody's name, and that there's some kind of like beloved feelings there. Maybe this is the name of a beloved, or a crush, or somebody that you are feeling connected with. And I think through this, there is, this is kind of also feeling that energy of kind of feeling loose and free and excitable and able to kind of communicate more freely. There is an energy of kind of like wanting to, like wanting to communicate constantly, right? Always wanting to text them, but maybe you're playing it cool and, you know, trying to limit how often you're sending messages or hanging out or whatever it is. But I think this is kind of an exciting friendship and exciting flirtation or dalliance, or maybe it's within your primary relationship, in your relationship, and there's kind of a renewal of wanting to be around each other and hang out more often. But I do think that yeah, you're loving it, so that's a good thing. All right, so we have these gratitude cards, a little deck of appreciation, and I really like these little ones. They're tiny, they're cute, the art is nice, and I'm gonna go ahead and flip through. I'll stop where it feels right. Okay, we have a person in their natural state, and it says, take a walk. Spend time being thankful for little wonders all around you. Yeah, taking that walk, looking at all the pretty little things, all the ugly little things, all the neat little things. And today I saw, every day now, I'm just so excited because all the birds are returning, right? And there's a lot more happening outside here. And anyways, I saw a hawk eating on a deer today. That, you know, it's a deceased deer. And the hawk was just gorgeous, and wings like poofed out, and you know, it was really in in its moment. And being able to witness that was, well, of course, I'm a softie, so I'm like, oh, but then at the same time, it was like very powerful, very beautiful symbol, and felt very grateful to be able to, see it with my own eyes. So, there's always something going on to see, something interesting, something of awe, something miraculous and divine. And, we just have to take the time to kind of let ourselves experience it. So, okay, Cancer, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I think you know that I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. Now, I also made a post in the community about trying to figure out what color I might paint the walls of my new studio space. And if you have any recommendations, please put that in there. I'm looking wide and far. I kind of really like this, I don't know what the color actually is called, but it is that kind of green color that they used in the Victorian era in wallpaper and paint, and it had arsenic in it. So it was kind of like a sickening green. I mean, it literally made people sick. And I just really like that. I like that color. It's not unlike the jade, right? But yes, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I'm not set on it. I've been looking at different colors, and I just want some input from you all. I love the Ula family here, so I'd love to hear from you and what your ideas are. So, with that, again, I'll say I love you and take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days, and good night.